everybody, welcome to our section 3.3 lecture video on solving application problems with one unknown quantity. So in other words, we're doing word problems today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So the first thing with word problems is getting it from a word problem into an equation. And there's some really good keywords that'll help you get there. And obviously this is not an all-inclusive list, but this should hopefully get you guys started. So some keywords that you should have some addition would be like the word sum, or if you have increased or increased by. Okay, you might have the word more than. And there's a difference between the greater than symbol. It actually has is more than for the greater than. But if you just have, Bobby is 9 more than Sally, that would be an addition. Okay. Some other addition keywords, of course, if you ever have just add or added, please add. Okay. If you ever see the word gained or gain, that would be addition. If you ever see the word total, that's one thing that a lot of people get mixed up on. They want to think that total means equals, and it actually means addition. It means that the things are added together to give you that total amount. And of course, if you ever see plus, that would be addition. And there may be others that you see along the way, but this will hopefully get you guys started. Okay. Some subtraction words that you guys might notice would be like the word difference. Or instead of increased by, you might notice decreased or decreased by. Okay. Instead of more than, you might notice the word less or the word less than. Okay. Instead of added, you might notice the word subtracted. Instead of gained, you might have lost. You might have the word minus, would be subtraction. Or if you have take away, if you take a certain amount away, that's an indication that you have subtraction. Okay. Some multiplication words that you might see would be like the word product, times, multiplied by, or multiplied. And some specific ones, if you ever see that something is doubled, that means that it's multiplied by 2. If you ever see tripled, that means that it's multiplied by 3. So those are some things that you may see with multiplication. For some division keywords, you might have the word quotient. The word per actually is division, so if you have like miles per hour, it's a rate, but it means that it's going to be divided by. The miles would be divided by the hours for miles per hour. If you ever just see the word divided or divided by, please use division. Okay. Some specific ones, if you see half. Half, of course, is 1 over 2, but it also could mean that you're dividing by 2. If you see that it's a third of a certain amount, that would mean you're dividing by 3. Okay? And then there's some kind of general ideas where if you ever say, it's shared equally among, or it's split equally among like some friends, maybe they're splitting up the tip, or they're splitting up the mileage when they're driving someplace. But you're sharing it equally among a certain amount of people, that's division. Some equals words, these are usually really short and you almost don't notice them unless you're paying attention. So the word is an equals word, okay? Or was, are. Some other ones, you could have the word gives, or the word yields would be an equals word. If you ever see amounts to, that would be where your equal sign would be. And of course, if you just see equals, that would be your equal sign. You may also have like the result after doing some addition or subtraction or multiplication or division. That would be equals as well. Then I have this category of switching the order, because sometimes, instead of, 5 minus, it's actually minus 5, where it switches the order on you. And these don't always happen, but there's something where if you see them, I would take a pause, okay, and double check. So those two words are than and from. And obviously, if I have, I may have than in other, goodness, my brain's not working right now, but you may have than in other contexts than just switching order, but it can mean that you're switching the order. So when you see like less than, that's actually minus that amount, not the amount minus something else, okay? So that, hopefully that'll get you guys started, okay? So let's do some practice where we're just going to take it from words to an expression or an equation, okay? So for example 1, it says write each as an algebraic expression and use y as the variable. I did that on purpose because you guys get really used to using x's all the time, and sometimes you have to use other variables, and sometimes it's useful to use other variables. So we're going to use y as our variable this time, okay? So in part A, it says 5 more than 3 times a number. So let's just take that one little step at a time. So we've got the number 5, we have more than, and then we have 3 times a number, okay? So I'll have the number 5, so more than means added to, and the than actually puts it at the end. So it'll be a plus 5 here, instead of a 5 plus because of the word than. Then we have 3 times a number. Well, I don't know what the number is, so that's your variable, which we're using y. So we're doing 3 times y, so that's multiplication, 3y. And that would be our expression, is 3y plus 5. Okay? Let's do another one. In part B, we have 13 less than twice a number. So now we have the number 13. We have less than. So less would mean that we're doing subtraction, and than would actually mean that it's minus 13 instead of 13 minus. So it kind of switches our order. Twice a number. So twice means 2 times. A number, I don't know what the number is, so we're going to use the variable y. So 2 times y would be twice a number. Okay. In example 2, write an equation to solve each problem. Then we're going to solve the equation. It's part A. It says if negative 5 times a number is added to 4, the result is negative 11. Find the number. And this time they don't tell us which variable to use, so use an x, okay? So for our number, we're going to use x as a variable. So we go back in to our problem. If negative 5 times a number, so negative 5 times the number would be negative 5x, is added to 4, so that, I know there's an is, but that's not really an equal sign, it just is part of the sentence here, is added to 4, so we're going to add 4. The result is, there's our equals, negative 11. And that's our equation. If you want to split from here, I would probably subtract 4 from both sides. So then we have negative 5x equals negative 15. Then divide both sides by negative 5. And we would have x equals 3. So when it says find the number, our number is 3. All right, let's do another one. It says the quotient of 96 and 8. So quotient is a division word, and we don't have anything that switches the order around, so it just goes right in order. So we're going to do 96 divided by 8 is, so there's our equals, 5 more than, and more than is an addition word, so we're going to do plus 5 because of the than. 7 times a number, so there's multiplication of 7 times a number. We don't know what the number is, so there's our variable. So we'll have 7 times x, or whichever variable you choose to use. So this would be our equation. If you want to solve it, we can simplify the left side first. 96 divided by 8 is 12. So we'll have 12 equals 7x plus 5. Then to solve for x, I'll get rid of the plus 5 next, so I'll subtract 5 from both sides. So then I have 7 equals 7x, and I'll divide both sides by 7, which gives me x equals 1. So when it says find the number, my number is 1. Let's do some more practice. It says that 2 subtracted from 4 times a number equals 3 more than 9 times the number. What is the number? So 2 subtracted from, so subtracted from means we are doing subtracting, and the from means it's minus 2 instead of 2 minus. So we're going to do minus 2 for this part. 4 times a number means multiplication, so that would be 4 times a number, so we'll use x, unless you would like to use a different variable, equals, so there's our equal sign. 3 more than, so now we've got a plus 3. 9 times the number, so that would be 9x. So this would be our equation. If you would like to solve it from here, I would probably subtract 4x from both sides to get all the x's together. So then we have negative 2 equals 5x plus 3. Then I would probably subtract 3 from both sides to get negative 5 equals 5x. And lastly, I would divide both sides by 5 and have negative 1 equals x. Negative 1 is perfectly fine, it just has to be a number, and negative 1 is a number. So that's our answer. Okay. For the next one, when the difference between a number and 4 is tripled. So let's look at that first. So the difference between a number and 4 is tripled. So the difference between a number and 4 would be subtraction. There's nothing that would change the order, so it's going to go in the order that it's written. So that would be x minus 4. And then that whole difference is being tripled. So it's not just the x that's being tripled, it's the entire thing. So I'm going to need parentheses when I multiply by 3. The result is, so there's my equal sign, 2 more than, so there's plus 2, 5 times the number, so that would be 5 times x. Okay. Then to find the number from here, you would probably distribute first, so we'd have 3x minus 12 equals 5x plus 2. Then I would probably get all the x's together, so I'd subtract 3x from both sides. Negative 12 equals 2x plus 2. Subtract 2 from both sides, which would give me negative 14 equals 2x. And lastly, I would divide by 2 on both sides and get negative 7 equals x. So when it says find the number, my number is negative 7. And you'll notice with each of these, I always go back to the problem and think, what was I supposed to find? And it said find the number, and that's the number that I found. And I did use x for my number. Okay. All right. The last two, I'm going to let you guys try, and I promise you I will post the answers on Canvas. So I'll let you guys try ENF, and then you can check on Canvas, and I will show you guys the answers. Okay? Have a great week. Good luck with these. Take them slow and steady. As you've noticed me doing, I take it one little piece at a time to get it from words to equations. Once it's in equation form, you guys got this, okay? So it's okay to take that first step a little bit slowly to make sure you have a good equation to start out with. All right, good luck, guys.